Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Walgreens exclusive Star Wars Black Series action figure of Emperor's Wrath Darth Vader. So this figure is very similar to the regular Vader figure, except for a few small differences and one big difference, namely his electrocuted head, which I think they did a really good job with. Like, I had my doubts about this, and I thought it might look maybe a little too cheesy, and yeah, there was an element of cheese to it, but I do dig it nonetheless. They went with like a kind of clear purpley material for the helmet, but also underneath it is a skull, and it's like a white skull, and it's got these kind of cartoony blue electro lines painted along it. Now, it's kind of hard to see from the front, but on the side you can kind of see teeth, like there is an actual skull in there. Because when the Emperor is shocking the bejesus out of Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi, you can see the outlines of his skull through the helmet. Which, you know, is a cool visual effect in the film, but kind of hard to achieve as a toy, but I think they did a very fun job with this. This is clearly like a fun design. Because you don't get any light up effect, but you do see the skull and the blue paint through it, and you can see underneath the little black that paints, that reads through, that lines up with the eye sockets for Vader's eye sockets. Also, I think the general sculpt of his helmet is really good. Like, it's a good clean sculpt of his helmet. Now, the figure itself has the same articulation and all that as the previous Vader figure. You got the hinge at the shoulder. There is no bicep cut on this, but there is a single elbow with a ball joint in it, and you do get the hinged wrist. It's a swivel, and oh, if you yeah, you can pull out. That's awesome. It's fun discovering dumb little things on camera in front of everybody. His hand comes out, and you can see like his little nubbin where his hand got cut off, and it's got the little paint. It's very basic paint, but it's supposed to imply the wires of his mechanical hand. I think that's a nice touch. Does it look super detailed? No. Is it a nice idea? Yeah! So right on. But that hand is just a single swivel hand. It doesn't have the hinge in it the way the other hand does. You can see there that it hinges right there. But he's got a little bend at the waist, like a little waist cut. The range of motion at the legs, the usual, you know, pivoting, the cut at the thigh, and then the double hinged knee, and then the hinge and swiveling ankle. And then his head does have a decent range of motion at the neck. It's a ball joint in there. There is no secondary ball joint. It's just the one at the neck for his helmet. He does come with a lightsaber, and it looks pretty good as far as the sculpt of it. And the paint, all the black and silver, looks really, really good. The blade does disconnect from the hilt and reconnect, so you can display him just holding the hilt if you'd like. Now, I mentioned some small differences between this and the original figure, and one of them is right here. The cloth that should be going down the sides of his costume kind of curve under the box, which looks a little weird. Also, not only did the original figure not do this, but that's not his costume like in the movies. Like, his costume doesn't do that. His costume is more accurate here, where it goes down the sides, and here it swoops under the box, and I'm not quite sure why they chose to do that. One improvement that they did do, at least in my opinion, where they got it better with the second figure, is the length of his cape. If you see the original one, the cloth hangs down considerably, it's not only his cape, but the side cloth of his legs past his feet, and then the cape does too. So anytime I posed him on the shelf, I always had to like brush his cape back, and it always just dragged so much. But this is the exact, you know, it comes right past his ankle. Well, actually it stops above his ankle there, but it curves around past, but it's much better. It's the length that it should be, which it, you know, doesn't create any problems. Also, I gotta say, I think the overall sculpt of this helmet is better, just because this helmet was designed to be broken up, because you can open it and see little Anakin inside, but there's a giant, you know, seam going underneath the little mouth area, whereas this helmet is a much cleaner shape. So props to Hasbro for that. I really like this. I think this is a fun variant. I like fun variants. I like that his hand can come off. I like that they painted the wires underneath. I appreciate the better cape. It has a really nice presence on the shelf, so I dig this a lot. Thanks for watching, folks, and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff.